Let's talk about it, team. Great to see everybody. Trisha, your reaction.
History, Maria. I mean, that's, of course, the first thing, not only for Donald Trump, this historic comeback, but for the country. This is the divisive landslide election that I think we needed to heal the country, to unify. But also, this is a moral mandate. Things like illegal immigration, things that were fringe issues back in 2016, 2020. Donald Trump has a uphill battle ahead of him, but that's what we needed. That popular vote, that electoral college landslide, so that he's able to carry out these really imperative policy changes.
I agree. This was a mandate when you look at the wins across the country. You know, we've all been talking about all these groups that Donald Trump was able to attract, Jonathan. I think there was a silent majority out there, and I think largely that silent group was women.
Absolutely. And you know, if you look at the polls, they suggested he was going to underperform here and there, but he actually overperformed in every aspect. I think it's a real wake-up call for the Democratic Party, by the way. You got some soul searching to do, not just with the women vote, but the minority vote and American voters in general. And I think, if anything, the soul searching is the identity search. Who are we? Because I tell you, the Democratic Party I saw over the last year and a half, Maria, is just an anti-Trump party. They just a tarring and feathering of him, just a witch hunt party. And after 2 indictments, 2 assassination attempts, partridge in a pear tree, whatever the heck else they threw at him, he still managed to overcome. So it's just a referendum on what they need to do, but also what we've overcome.
Yeah, and to me, the biggest failure of the administration and of Kamala Harris, 2 words: open border.
Yeah, well, exactly. And what we're looking at here is, back to sanity. Borders matter. A strong military matters. A strong economy matters. I tell you what doesn't matter: electric vehicle mandates and discussion about boys dressing up as girls and playing girls' sports. That stuff doesn't matter. And it's not just the fact that it looks like Mr. Trump is moving into the White House. It's also that the Senate is flipping Republican, and we may even see Republicans pull it out in the House. So again, it's not just about Trump. It's about America saying we have been on the wrong track, and we want to get back on the right track. And I would argue that this morning is morning in America all over again.
Yeah, I mean, this could be a sweep. We're waiting to get more details on the House. But you're right. The fact that the Senate also switched and is now going to be in control of the GOP, that means he's got a mandate to get through what he needs to get through, and it will happen, given the Senate.
And Maria, interesting fact here. There's 3,100 counties plus in the U.S. Not one did Kamala Harris overperform Joe Biden. And that is staggering.
That's shocking.
And that shows that this is a landslide and a change election for Donald Trump, for America.
Markets were higher, and a lot of the quote-unquote Trump trades were doing well going into it. What are the groups that you want to look at as a potential Trump trade?
Sure. You want to own energy as opposed to clean energy. You want to own military stocks as opposed to infrastructure stocks. You want to own biotech as opposed to healthcare. In other words, remember, Trump is about lower taxes and lower regulations and drill, baby, drill. Right? That's where you want to focus. And all those names are up this morning. Some are up a staggering amount. Because Bitcoin is breaking out. He's been viewed as the crypto president. Coinbase is up like 12 or 13%. I'm not sure that lasts. The flip side, the downside, if there is one, Maria, is that bond yields are up significantly this morning. The 10-year is moving up, and that is because tariffs are likely to be inflationary. That's the one caution.
Okay, and we're also waiting on the Fed. 2-day Fed meeting beginning today, so we'll see movement on yields. I just want to point your attention to stocks. The Dow Jones Industrial Average right now, no, that is not a typo. That is not a mistake. The Dow Jones Industrial Average right now, several hours before the open, is trading up 1,182 points. That is almost 3%. The Nasdaq is up 351 right now. That is 1 3/4%, and the S&P 500 higher by 2 1/4% right now.